Alright, this is part 2 of making Spritz. So now that we have our ball of dough, it's roughly about the size of a softball, and it will make about between 4 and 6 dozen Spritz, depending on the press you use. And I will get to that in a moment here. Alright, so the cookie press I use is called a Sawa, or Siwa. It basically looks like a caulking gun, and it's all metal, and you can still find them in thrift shops, but these are the different things they have. I've got a whole bunch more than this, but this is the Christmas tree one we're going to be using. And then there's a couple other designs. There's a star. I use this star. This is actually from one of those old crank presses where you actually twist the handle. I do have one of those presses, however, I do not use it. But basically, it's this plastic piece goes on here. And then I will show you how we prep the pans. Now, I've seen a lot of people get really frustrated with Spritz, and they don't like doing it because they can't get the cookies to stick to the pan. I will show you how to remedy that. So here we are in frigid Minnesota, and what I do is I get my pans nice and cold. So what I do is I take a cold pan. Alright, so what you do is you take your stick of butter and you smear it on your cold pan that's been sitting outside. I used to struggle a lot with making these until I figured out this trick. Now, you don't have to do this every time. You just have to do it one time, and then usually after 3 or 4 times I'll re-butter it. But otherwise, you just put it back outside after you take the cookies off to let the pan cool. And then the butter will solidify again, and then you can do your next round. Alright, so what I do is I take my dough and I shape it roughly about the size of this, and then I put it inside like so. So now that this is loaded, you can see it's just about to come out like that. I always push it down just enough to do that to get the air bubbles out. Alright, so what I do is I hold down, I click, and I do that for each cookie. I can get usually about 48 a pan.